Right. We are quick to label. But let me start like this. When the young people running around, the way we see them running around, maybe they can't stay in one place. Some of us, we're too quick to say things like they're hyperactive, like they're restless, like this thing called restlessness, right? All these quick judgments on the young ones by the grown-ups. So my question is, what do we call, or how do we say like a grown-up that is hyperactive as well? Or what's the word? Restless. Like the way we kind of talk about the younger ones. So how do we now, what would be the term or for a restless adult, or a restless grown up, or a hyperactive grown up, in grown ups, or hyperactivity? What do we call that, or what does this society call that? When we say society, what do we really mean by that? The inspiration behind this video is called things to do with the father been observing some things lately, like it's been for a while. Like when I see a lot of adults very, very restless, things that we see in children as well. A lot of it, we do say things like environment, stress, everything has to do with it. Yeah, which is agreeable. Environment does have some kind of impact on an individual. That's very true. The other environmental factors like stress, especially the unnecessary ones that we create for ourselves sometimes. We may become restless from that as an adult. Sometimes people see that as being very agitated, or does that make sense? Yeah. So we use different words for the grown-ups, or for the younger ones, the children, and we use them a different term for the grown-ups. The grown-ups, if you know what I mean. So it's just kind of intriguing to see how people categorize things when we're trying to kind of see things from a distance, or view things from a distance, like just lay back and observe things. See? And sometimes when these things happen, we kind of too quick to start talking about what we need to give the children to curb, or to to reduce or get rid or manage that type of hyperactivity in children, or restlessness in children. So we start giving them so many things that are actually undesirable. Not like the child asked for it. You see? So but this video just has to do with the way it's kind of more related to the older ones, the grown-ups really. So when we become restless, we become agitated, hyperactive, what do we use for that? How do we treat that? How do we respond or relate to that? I say like somebody in the community, you know. I hear these things as so many sources has proven that these things, as if this restlessness and hyperactivity, agitation, all these things has to do with nutrition, has been championed by so many sources, researchers, and all these things. Then, what do we do instead of just kind of stereotyping these particular people, especially the children? What do we do? Is it not wise to really do our own research and find out if these claims are true? I mean, there's some things that the intuition, if you intuit, there's some things that resonate because of the intuitive inequality that we all have as like a human gifts, if you like. So, and then what do we do? Don't you think it's more wise to stop giving these children things that can make them hyperactive, quote unquote? Because since we don't want, sometimes we parents and other people or the carer of the children don't, or the child or the children don't want people to label. Yeah, labeling, that's what I'm looking for. Labeling the children as so. So instead of dwelling on that, you know, supposed to take another approach and start looking into what make these children or even the adults, because this video is especially about the adults, make them become restless. Because children appear they more spiritual than adults. It's maybe that when we start training them to do some certain things, that they start doing it. So when they become restless or bored or agitated or hyperactive, they will show it straight away. They don't really know how to hide feelings. The grown-ups and the adult has been trained to hide feelings, to manipulate feelings, to get some certain results. So the grown-ups has been trained like that. That's years of training. That's years of programming. You know, but in the case of a child, well, the child, they just go ahead. So they still they use their innate capability to deal with things. So if they become stressed or they become on board or they become whatever, sometimes they can express their feelings. Sometimes they just act out. They just act the whole thing out. You know, something that we might say that they throw in tantrums. You know, so if there are some things that are linked to this type of behavior, it's always it's a way to deal with this type of behavior, especially for people in looking after children. You know, like, so if there are some particular type of food stuffs that could be promoting this type of behavior in children, so it's just wise to stop this type of food. And for my research, sugar is just one of it, plus other things, you know, plus other things, but sugar, why sugar is just one of it. That's for my research. you know. So like a child takes sugar, he or she will act differently compared to the way an adult will react to certain things in the body. Because an adult now, they kind of aware of the environment. They don't want to look silly. So they kind of find a way to manipulate the environment to look pretty cool in front of people because they don't want to mess around. But children don't care. Whatever you give to them, everything is meant to excite them, stimulate them, or to to raise them and just drop them, boom, like that. That's exactly how they're going to play everything out because they don't feel like they have to hide anything. They're not really into our image world now where everything is shaped by the image that we see. But after years of programming, they start behaving the way the adults behave. So this type of stuff has to do with different expressions of body feelings, including those experienced by the younger ones and the grown-ups. So and plus other things that causes that may cause a lot of things that we don't like to see, that we kind of find undesirable. I remember my grown-up days when I used to have a friend, one of my childhood friends, back in the secondary school days. He used to, he was very active, was very active. He used to chew on sugar cane, sugar cane plants, the grass, the plants, right, the long stick. He used to chew on it, and he would be roller skating. He would be skating at the same time chewing on sugar cane plants. Not the cane, is it cane sugar thing now you see, or even on health food stores, those refined or them just pure sugar. The sugar cane itself contains minerals. I knew this for a fact when we were young in Nigeria. Contains good minerals, contains iron. Knew this long time. Contains other stuff. If not, the molasses that they go, swear them blackstrap molasses, how did they manage to get those minerals? The molasses is supposed to have, supposedly having like calcium and iron and all that. That has to come from the real sugarcane plants, right? So when Moses was consuming this plant, he was having, because he was consuming it whole as the wholeness, the holistic consumption of food, yeah, he was having that. So he was getting all this sugar high, but at the same time getting other nutrition in forms of nutrients, which is quite different from the granules that's been presented to us today in form of the cane sugar granules. But I've never seen on any label where they say this cane sugar contains some certain minerals, so which is quite sad really, because real sugar cane plant contains, like I said earlier, contains a lot of minerals because it grows from the soil, rice and whole food. So Moses used to, Moses now, I remember his name, Moses. He used to overdose on sugar cane plants on his roller skate. He always has energy, I never see the connection then, but years later, I mean, fast forward now, I could see the reason why I was so high, so energized, you know, because he consumed a lot of sugarcane juice, you know, just put it in the mouth and start chewing it, you know, extracting the juice from the cane straight to his bloodstream, really. I mean, well, to the digestive system, really, to his body, you know, so to speak. And that's just an example. So all this denatured sugar we're taking, they kind of link to so many things that we don't want our children to be living, especially when it comes to behavioral patterns that we kind of shy away from because we don't want people to label our children, and we don't want us to be labeled as well. We want us to be labeled as well. So I think it's gonna be wise to eliminate those things. Eliminate those things, you know. Plus other things, you know, plus other things that are not desirable for the body, you know. So the thing is, say I just quick example. So this hyperactivity in adults, even being played by parents, maybe sometime when the parents are they kind of high on sugar, they start yelling, you know, maybe I'm not sure, but I've seen some patterns where parents start yelling, some people start yelling at people. It's almost like a form of hyperactivity or some restlessness as well. Because usually you don't really see an adult running around banging their head on the wall, just like sometimes the children do, because they kind of hyper, they can't stay in one place, broom, running around the whole place. But adults do that sometimes, but in a more refined way because they know they've been watching the adults. They don't want to look silly in front of people, right? So, but another way some adults really express it is to yell, constant yelling, continuous yelling, non-stop, you know, and do other things that people can see that, well, something wrong with this guy or something, you know. Because humans, well, people in general are just good observers. It just depends on what we want to observe, though, and the kind of result that we want to get from that observation. But we're good observers, you know. So we can eliminate all these things, all these culprits that may be causing all these undesirable things that we don't want to be labeled. We don't want them labels on us, you know. All them things, you know. If the nutrition, because everything is linked to nutrition now, so the best way is to eat for better health, for health, really. You know, it's an ancient saying, and this, how can you eat for better health? You have to know self, you know. You have to really know self. You need to know, as they say, man know thyself, you know. It's been written all over the ancient world, and it's still applicable to daily living. We still have to know self, know what to feed the body, which really feeds our mind and our soul as well. So take some from all them things. Maybe it could be on the soul level or on etheric level, or everything, energetic level, energetically level, anyway, energetic level. So, because everything is energy. So even if you don't see the solid form or liquid form of what you're drinking that affects your soul, energy is there. It's always there. So things that you consume feed your soul energetically as well. So we need to start rethinking what we call soul food, especially in our community, we love. It's good to have soul food, but you need to know what soul is first before you know the type of food to feed the soul. You know, and you need to know what food is. You need to know what soul is. Then you can have the combination of that to make it soul food. See. A soul food, in my opinion, is the one that's supposed to feed your soul on a higher level, you know, which includes all those vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds and all that, and obviously water. And people, see some people making some statement regarding the fact that people that ingest plants, that they kind of killing the plant as well. Everything's about growth. Humans are supposed to be evolving, right? If you don't, people that are ingesting on plant already on some kind of level, you know, so they might have a better chance of now leaving the plants alone and go to on a higher level. I've read this in African Holistic Health, you know, long time ago, that some people are breatharians, some people that actually have the ability to extract nutrition from the air that we breathe in, you know, to be able to extract the best quality nutrient from the air that we breathe in, which is quite amazing, you know. Plus other ways of living. So we need to appreciate and respect the fact that every individual is on their own soul journey. They are on some they are on a soul journey. So everybody's there's some different levels. Not everyone is on the same level, you know. Everybody is on a different level. And comprehension or some kind of understanding of things is needed to be able to say that, you know. So people can do what they need to do to keep on having their life experience on this planet, right? So just a little digression there. So kind of known for doing that anyway. And we kind of need to kind of feed the body the right soul food, you know. I mean solar food, if you want, like solarized food, as they say, you know, cook food by the sun, you know. Every single tree has already been kind of interaction with the sun. So if you have a fruit from the tree, it's already been solarized, already been cooked by the sun, you know. So, and ancient wisdom it's like that, and it's still the same today. It hasn't changed, you know. What has changed is still the mentality of people. You know, it's always depends on the mental state of an individual, you know, or groups of people. So right, just quick video is getting dark in here. It's getting more the shadow with it's nothing wrong with darkness. We all came from that dark womb here, the womb of our physical mothers, you know. We came from there. Because I always wonder how the child, that's just another topic entirely, so she didn't go there. So it's getting dark. I'm just gonna leave it like that, you know. So until I see you again, you know, more from my metala. I share.